Welcome, everybody, to That's Weird Stuff, the show where I give these guys bizarre and strange tales, and they tell me, and they answer a very important question for me, but we'll get to that at the end.
The only question, Joseph.
The only question.
Why do we do this? Like, are we being held hostage? I think we're being held hostage.
Any weird stuff happening in your guys' life?
Is this like an Ender's Game situation where if we make the wrong choice and a civilization goes bye-bye?
People die? Yeah.
It could be. It could be. I'm not. Don't rule that out.
This
Joseph's
is an
like, "Don't
Ender's
worry."
Game situation where Thomas spoils the ending.
It's a
Oh,
25-year-old book,
jeez,
Jared.
Thomas.
If you have not read it by then, I'm sorry, I can't help you.
A
like
movie
saying-
was coming out, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna read the book," and then he's like, "Oh, that happened." I was like,
It's like saying, like, oh, guess what? Darth Vader is Luke's father.
But I let you know I
Spoilers!
did not read the book.
Okay, so side tangent really fast. One of my volleyball teammates had never seen Star Wars and didn't know the spoiler.
Well, that
Oh,
person's an
dang.
idiot.
That's crazy.
That's
Uh,
impossible.
Is he young? Because young people. haven't
She
seen
is,
that.
I think, my age.
That's not true.
Okay.
It's
A
not
lot of-
possible.
A lot of young people don't know like the old Star Wars.
Well, their parents are failing.
Yeah,
As parents, they are failing.
what's
I
sad
have
is
failed you, Anakin.
what's sad is the kids that only know the sequel trilogy.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
That's gross.
Like, you remember
Hey,
there's...
We're
Anyway.
doomed. We're doomed.
That's terrible.
That's weird stuff.
That's some weird stuff. Yeah. Are they aliens or not, Jared?
Yes.
Probably.
Okay,
See the downfall of our civilization there.
okay, so this episode is kind of a spiritual sequel to our first episode, The Somerton Man.
Uh-oh.
So go check that out.
What was that, Michael?
What?
I don't know why that made me laugh so hard.
So
That was
this-
weird stuff, man.
It's
That's
spiritual.
what this
so
show's about.
I'm being spiritual, Jared. Leave me alone.
So this case is called the Isdal Woman. And there she is. Sorry for the brightness.
Oh,
Sorry for the jump scare.
Okay, so on the afternoon of November 29th, 1970, a man hiking with his daughters in Isdalen, Norway, discovered the charred remains of a woman among the talus deposits. So that just means like big chunks of rock. Isdalen, which means the Ice Valley, is also known as the Death Valley because of incidents of suicide during the Middle Ages and hiking accidents during modern times.
Oh, accidents, huh?
Accidents. The police arrived soon after the hikers reported finding the body. The body was in a prone position with hands clenched. The front of her body was so badly burned that she was unrecognizable, but there were no signs of a campfire nearby. Around the body were traces of burned paper, and beneath the body was a fur hat that possessed traces of gasoline. In her possession were a bottle of liquor, two bottles of water, rubber boots, a woolen jumper, scarf, stockings, umbrella, purse, matchbook, and a few pieces of jewelry. All the labels had been removed or rubbed off, though the police did find fingerprints that would match one of two suitcases found in a locker at a nearby railway station. In those suitcases, they found sunglasses with the fingerprints on it, clothing, makeup, wigs, money of different European countries, maps, timetables, and a notepad. Decoding by the police found that the notebook contained times and places the woman had visited. She had multiple fake passports, but she consistently gave her nationality as Belgian. And they were filled out in German and French, so suggesting she spoke German and French. An autopsy found that the woman had died from carbon monoxide poisoning after being incapacitated by the barbiturate phenobarbital. And that is
Barbital?
it is used in cases of epilepsy in like third world countries. So soot was found in her lungs and her neck was bruised. Stomach contents and testing of her blood found that she had ingested 50 to 70 sleeping pills. The last time she was seen alive was on the 23rd of November when she was checked out of a nearby hotel. The staff reported that she was around 5'4" with dark brown hair and brown eyes. They reported that the woman kept to herself, paid with cash, and left in a taxi. Police discovered that she had stayed in multiple hotels in Bergen, often switching rooms after checking in. She often gave her occupation as a traveling salesperson or an antiques broker. A witness reported her talking to a man in German. Others say she spoke Flemish or broken English, and she smelled of garlic. The woman has never been identified. Her death was ruled as a suicide, and the case was quickly closed. Declassified Norwegian Armed Forces documents suggest the woman's movements seem to correspond with the testing of the top secret Penguin missile. So that's not as cool as it sounds. It's not like they shoot a penguin out of people. It's just a really big helicopter missile.
No, if I want something called a penguin missile, I want it to make that sound when it like launches or either it, like impacts. Like
The button is just a really fat penguin button.
Yeah.
Push it in the belly.
it's the original Club Penguin, just like.
A witness reported seeing the woman not dressed for hiking, leading two men up into the mountains, but was told to forget about what he saw by the police, and his statement was not recorded. The case was reopened in 2016, and isotope testing from her dental records showed that the woman was born in Germany in 1930 and probably moved to France as a child. Analysis suggests that she could have had dental work done in East Asia, Central Europe, Southern Europe, or South America. So pretty much all over the world she could have had this
About to
dentistry.
say, like, that's about 4 continents right there.
Okay, so that is our case. If you that's kind of the valley where they found her.
That is very foreboding.
Isdalen, yep. And the Valley of Death is a good name for it. So the question that I always ask you, aliens or not? Jared, go.
I'm gonna say no. It's gonna say a lot like our first episode. Human, very human activity. You should not have said garlic because I know Michael's gonna say vampires. What's with all these stories? They're always like the labels were taken off or something like that. That's very
weird.
very convenient or not convenient. Coincidence.
Not convenient.
But yeah, I'm gonna say it's just dirty human work, not aliens, unfortunately.
Thomas, what do you think? Aliens or not?
So
I know what happened.
well, I'm trying to like think because like, okay, do you ever see that movie Under the Skin with Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah.
The premise is that this is for Michael. She's like this woman that like is an alien that hunts people, and it's a very weird, horrific movie, but it's pretty good. This is kind of like reminding me of that in a little bit, like particularly the ending, if you know what I'm talking about. But the fact that she was like basically choked out and poisoned and then set on fire, like obviously someone's trying to cover her identity, I guess, but like that's so overboard. Like obviously she was choked, she was poisoned, and then set on fire. So do they just want to make sure that she was dead? Like I don't know. But
Michael, what do you think?
I think
Go
spy
ahead.
though. I think spy.
Spy. Okay. Michael, alien vampires or not?
Just hear me out here, all right? We had the garlic, which obviously didn't work. The vampires got to this chick. No question. No question asked. Actually, what probably happened is they got to her beforehand. She was already bitten. She just had the garlic on her because she was trying to fend them off. Didn't work out. She's on the run, where she ends up trying to take her own life by taking all the pills. She ends up just passing out. Didn't kill her because vampire blood's already in her. Like she's already uber strong and everything. But she doesn't wake up until the sun comes up, and then she gets charred to a crisp.
Interesting.
The sun killed her.
That's interesting because
So we're looking at a 30 days of night situation.
Mm.
Gotcha.
I
'Cause,
like
mean,
this.
if you're on fire and you have 2 water bottles, why wouldn't you use the water to put out the fire? Why would you have 2 water bottles? You know.
Because there's also a bottle of liquor.
Liqueur.
Liqueur, I'm sorry.
So are you suggesting that vampires drugged her with sleeping pills?
No, she tried to drug herself with sleeping pills. She's trying to take
Oh,
her life
okay.
before she changed.
Oh, I
It's
see
the
what
middle
you're
of night,
saying.
but
Okay.
then she just ended up burning to death because she didn't wake up before the sun came up. So technically, it worked in her favor because she just didn't feel any pain. She just went out and then.
This is just gonna be
Went
like
crispy.
Michael's like vampire theory podcast.
I know.
And why you can't find the dental work is, I mean, they're like who-
Because they took out the fangs, Michael.
Yeah, like, where did
they-
he get these fangs? Like that's not common.
I think they said they did take out like the front part of her mouth. They removed that part.
Told you.
And she had like gold crowns in there somewhere.
What's with the
She
penguin
was a
missile?
gangster
Like,
vampire.
The penguin missile. See, that's the one that kind of leads to spy. Why is she flying this penguin missile around? Is she because it's top secret, so she's not a fan of penguin missiles. She should have known what penguin missiles are. I like the lean towards spy on this one. Just because of everything that was found under the passports. Who has that many fake passports? The wigs. I've heard the other theory I read is that she was kind of a sex worker. So that's why she's traveling around Europe with wigs, I guess, and meeting strange men in the mountains.
Also,
not just for
another
hiking.
a weird description is she kept to herself. Everyone keeps themselves at a hotel. It's
In Norway, though?
oh, I don't know.
The vampire would.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
true.
No, they wouldn't. They'd be making friends to suck their blood.
Not if she's
But they
cautious.
came out during the day.
Yeah, so I don't know. This one's weird. It's another weird one. I don't think there's ever been a good like theory for what actually happened to this woman. The cops, the first finding of suicide just doesn't make sense at all. Just because they found like gasoline, who burns like themselves after they suicide, I guess. That doesn't make sense. And then the penguin missile is very intriguing to me because she's following this missile around, and so
You're
I
just
think
obsessed that it's called a penguin missile.
it's true.
Couldn't give a quack.
I think she was silenced by the penguins.
Oh God.
If you see
They're like South Side because they're from Antarctica.
they could be alien penguins.
My gosh, we don't talk about those.
You're gonna get us killed, Joseph.
All right, so that's this episode of That's Weird Stuff. Tell us what you think happened in the comments, or if you have any better theories than us.
So you're gonna be like, these guys aren't even trying.
Or hit us with the hashtag obviously vampires.
Michael is gonna hit on this vampire in one of these cases. I mean, it's
bound
gonna
to
come
happen.
out. Yeah, it's gonna come out, and then there's a
So
vampire.
that's the next thing we need to adopt as a society. Are aliens real? No, we're all like agreement now. It's not a weird thing that people think aliens are real now. Now it's like, are vampires real?
The vampire's real.
That's even scarier.
We do have a vampire.
They
movie
are
coming
literally amongst us.
out. All right, Luna, any idea?
No, she tires.
Okay. Well, we'll say goodnight to Luna. Good night.
Bye, Luna.
Bye, Luna.